The Paul Leslie Hour, helping people tell their stories. And now, your host, Paul Leslie.
Hey, it's me. This is, in fact, the Paul Leslie Hour. Welcome to it. Thank you for tuning in. I consider it an honor to have your audience. Lightning strikes once, maybe twice, and that's what's happening on this episode. It's the return of Engelbert Humperdinck. Engelbert Humperdinck is a man you just have to love. As a singer, he's mega. It's a great honor. You can help the Paul Leslie Hour. Just go to thepaulleslie.com, click on the button at the top that says Support the Show. It only takes a few seconds and makes a world of difference. And now, it's time for my telephone interview with Engelbert Humperdinck, where we talk about his new EP, Sentiments, and his first ever Christmas special. Enjoy.
Hello?
Hi, this is Paul Leslie calling for Engelbert.
Yes, you're talking to him. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm great. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm good, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Have we spoken before?
We have indeed.
Ah, okay.
I never dreamed we would speak twice.
Well, here we go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell, my heart is full being able to welcome this man. He has made a joyful noise with his voice. He is one of the premier singers in the world, a great performer and recording artist. We're welcoming back Engelbert Humperdinck. We're going to be talking about his latest EP, Sentiment, and also a very special event that's coming up, a Christmas special, the very first Engelbert Christmas special. That's going to be on December 12th at 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and they can get that on loop. Engelbert, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Nice to talk to you, Paul.
It's a pleasure. So I'm hoping we can talk a little bit about this Sentiment EP because I've been enjoying it very much. How did you come up with that title for it?
Well, I tell you why. Sentiments, I always use that word because for the simple reason I always try to act as though I'm not as old as I am, you know. So when I was about 25, my hair went gray, and I said, I can't go into show business with gray hair. And so I started dyeing my hair, you see. So when the song came along, you know, with Clint Eastwood in the movie The Mule, what was it called now? Don't Let the Old Man In. Have you heard that song?
Oh yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah, Don't Let the. So those are my sentiments entirely. So I thought I kept that word in my head, you know. And so when I recorded on this album, I recorded Forever Young, the Bob Dylan song. It's in keeping with my statement of sentiments.
Well, that was a song that I thought, wow, this is very exciting to hear your take on a Bob Dylan song. And
yeah,
I was just wondering, Engelbert, how does one stay as relatively as possible young?
Well, I've been very fortunate because I think my parents left me with good genes, and I've never been to a Beverly Hills clinic to have anything done. I've just grown on gracefully, but my skin is you know, it's unbelievable for my age, and I'm just thankful for small mercies, you know. I'm very happy with it, but I still color my hair, you know, just to keep myself looking youthful. Because when I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror, I want to see a young man. I don't want to see gray hair. Gray denotes age, and it's okay on some people, but not in my mind.
Well, you live out there in California. Have you ever met Bob Dylan?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't, but I'm a fan of his music.
One of the songs on there, it made me curious. I was listening to Smile, which was written by Charlie Chaplin.
I know.
Yeah, and it's a great song, and you did it very well. I've been watching so many movies this year.
Yeah.
And including some old ones. Engelbert, could you tell us perhaps one of your all-time favorite movies?
My all-time. Well, I have to say it's excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat for some reason or the other. Paul, I'm sorry to tell you that, but I
No
have.
problem.
I'm trying to think what one of my favorite. A Midnight Run, I think, is one of my favorite movies.
Ah.
You know that? You know the one with Robert De Niro and
Yeah, I know the one.
Anyway, yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah.
Another thing on this album, I'm hoping you can tell us about this duet that you did.
Yeah.
Can't Help Falling in Love, a song a lot of people know as being done by many singers.
From the Elvis.
Elvis, Julio, a lot of people. But tell us about doing this duet.
Well, I met Janet about 3 years ago, Janet Devlin, about 3 years ago, when she came to see my show in London, and I was appearing in Shaftesbury Avenue at a theater there. And she came backstage, and we got acquainted, and I found out that we shared the same record company. And when the producer asked me if I would do a duet with Janet Devlin, I said I know of her. I know that she was an X Factor contestant, and she did very well in it. And I love her voice. I think she's got a great voice. And so I said, okay, I'll be happy to do it, So we did it, when she was over there and I was over here. And we did it in that fashion. And it worked out well. And I premiered it last week on my YouTube channel. And I have to tell you, I watched it on my iPad with all the fans who were coming in on my YouTube channel. We watched it together, and then they made their comments. And about 50 countries from around the world piped in and got in touch with me saying that they really liked it, and they could only see me, so they said, "Yo, you're looking good," and this and that. Comments came from South America and from South Africa and Australia and all over the world. Chile and Arabia, and I was amazed that so many countries were familiar with my music, and it's so flattering to know this.
Well, it's very, very impressive, your incredible reach with your music. When you were on the last time, we got so many emails from people who listened in, and we got even a handwritten letter from somebody who was so touched. We closed the show on the radio with your version of Over the Rainbow, and there were people saying it brought tears to their eyes. So.
Thank you. Well, it's a great song, and the arrangement was done by a gentleman called Charlie Colello, who was responsible for my After the Loving arrangement as well. And of course, he's a brilliant arranger, and I've done many albums with him. So I must say I enjoyed singing that song with his arrangement.
Well, we were just speaking about this duet with Janet.
Yeah.
And you have had the chance to do so many great duets. I've enjoyed them very much, but I'm wondering, is there anybody that you haven't done a duet with that you would one day dream to?
Well, I don't know about that. I think the kind of people that I did on my last duet album, I have some very, very wonderful people, like people from the guy from Kiss, and Elton, and I had the great Johnny Mathis, and I had the great Willie Nelson, So I can't say that I've missed anybody out in of any significance. I'm sure I'd love to do. If somebody asked me, one of the greats asked me to do do it with them, I'd say, of course I would. I'd love to, because it's always an experience to work with a great performer,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hoping we can talk about the Christmas special.
Yeah.
And everybody is going to be able to, from no matter where they are, check this out.
Yeah, it's live stream. It's looped around the world, isn't it? Live stream loop. That's what is it called now? Loop Live.
Loop Live.
Loop Live. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be good. We've had a rehearsal, and it's worked out pretty good. As a matter of fact, it's shot in my home in Los Angeles, and my two sons, Bradley and Jason, who are living with me at the moment, were responsible for making the a part of my house looked like a Christmas, Christmas occasion, and then a studio to shoot this special. And they did a great job. And it's all family involved here, My daughter and her daughter who are going to be here can't because of the lockdown in Los Angeles and the travel restrictions, etc. But they're going to be doing it remotely from Nashville, Tennessee. And my granddaughter, who's 12 years old, will be doing a solo on it. And she's a brilliant singer. I mean, she did a duet on my duet album, my last album. And she did a duet with me. And she was 9 years old. She's a kind of a Whitney Houston type of voice, I have to say, of that kind of her own style of Whitney, and it was amazing. I mean, she's amazing. And she's going to be on the show along with my son Bradley, who's going to sing a song with me. And it's a very homey situation. It's an hour long. It's my very first Christmas special. I'm excited about it, and I hope that I've chosen the right material for this wonderful occasion.
Well, we're all looking forward to this. Anybody can go to engelbert.com, and there's a link there to the Loot. And again, that's going to be on December the 12th.
Yeah.
From anywhere in the world. Engelbert, what does Christmas mean to you?
Well, I think Christmas is for when you're a child, you remember it so well because of the excitement of Santa Claus and all that business, But today, Christmas is, I miss Christmas. I miss being at home in England for Christmas because of the season, because it's nice and sometimes it snows and sometimes, but the weather is Christmassy sort of thing over there. But in California, the sun is shining. It's a little different, But Christmas, we have our meal at about 3:00, and then we open our presents on Christmas Day, and then I do the cleaning up of all the papers and everything, put it in a paper bag and take it out and put it in the garbage can. That's my job. But it's a very wonderful occasion. It's a very, very wonderful time, very memorable because you go back to your childhood with that, and you remember your parents and your family and growing up with it and the wonderful times you had in the past.
I was playing Smile before we came on the air here, and
yeah,
I was thinking about how this last year, for some people, there have been some times where it was hard to smile.
Oh, really? Yes, of course. Yeah.
Engelbert, maybe you can tell us what has always never failed to make you smile?
Oh, that's a good question. I think niceness always makes me smile, I love civility, and when people are nice to me, it kind of makes me smile all the time. That's what does it, civility, because it costs nothing. And people who are nice to me, it makes me smile. That does. Happiness.
Is there any Christmas song, if you can maybe give us a little bit of a sneak peek, any Christmas song that you're really, really itching to do on Saturday?
I've never given it to, I haven't given that to anybody. But let me just think. All right, I'm going to give one away. I'm going to say Blue Christmas, because Elvis recorded this 60 years ago, and I've done it I've recorded it, and I've given it a version, and my version is not so blue. It's something you could really do a two-step to if you want to, and that's the kind of version I'm going to do. I've given you something special.
I appreciate the lead there, the scoop, as they call it.
Yeah.
I wanted to share this with you. The writer of the song Can't Help Falling in Love, one of the writers, Luigi Creatore.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity, he has since passed away, but I had the opportunity to interview him in his home in Boca Raton.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, indeed. And you have been able to sing songs written by some of the most brilliant composers and lyricists in the world.
Yeah.
What do songwriters mean to Engelbert Humperdinck?
What do the songwriters mean?
What do they mean to you personally?
Well, I've been A great deal, in fact. I want to tell you something that I've befriended two writers and who were very responsible for many hits in my career. Two names, Les Reed and Barry Mason, who wrote for me many big hits like Les Bicyclettes de Belsailles and the Last Waltz, of course, which was played all over the world as the last song in dance halls. And they've been just great songwriters, great team. They were a great team, and they must have lived or experienced so many different aspects of life to be able to create what they do, so that we the artists can portray their feelings in song and music. It must be unbelievable. I'll be honest with you. When I write my own songs, it comes from my personal experiences. There's no way you can write without that. You can't just create something from out of the blue. Although there are writers who write books who create things from out of the blue. But I think with songwriters, it has to be something that is of an experience in life. Yeah.
What inspires you when you write?
Well, I think about situations in my own life. I think about what has transpired, and I try to put it into words and music. A lot of songs that I've written, I sort of based them upon my wife. My love, and I base it on her. That's the only thing I can say. I base it on the one I love. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Anybody out there, they can go to engelbert.com, and from there's a link of the Looped Live that's going to be on Saturday, December the 12th. I highly recommend this EP, Sentiments. I always like to end the show. I let the guest take the stage. You have fans, no doubt, like last time.
Yeah.
Listening in from all over the world. What would you say to anybody who's joined in, who's listening to this broadcast?
What would I say to them?
Yes, sir. Totally open-ended.
Be careful. Just be careful. Be careful. We're living in a very strange world right now.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Well, Engelbert Humperdinck, it's been a great honor to speak to you yet again. I hope you know how much you mean to all of us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate those words. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Paul.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Till next time.
Ba-ba doodly beep bop dee da dee bumpity boo rapity canas a jip pop killa can not a gill bond a good thing jigga manga but this yeah hunger a guess I get back in the woo e daga go I got the inga rock a tinga lang a bo a kick oh goodbye.